Zandora was soft in the morning. For once, the city didn't roar. It breathed. Golden light slipped through the penthouse's glass walls, laying itself gently across the silver bedding where Ayra lay still, eyes open, heartbeat cautious. Beside her, Mikael slept like a man unburdened. His chest rose and fell with elegance, not peace. Even asleep, he looked deliberate. She hadn't meant to stay. Her body had simply refused to move. Her gaze drifted toward the ceiling, then to his hand resting near hers on the sheets. It wasn't touching her, not quite. But its presence was a declaration. She turned her face to him, his lashes still, his lips parted slightly, the illusion of softness over a mind that had been hunting her long before their first hello. Ayra slipped from the bed. The bathroom was just as sleek as the rest of the space, marble, black and gold, minimalist. She splashed her face, avoiding her reflection for as long as she could. But when her eyes finally rose to meet her own, she whispered it. "You knew and you stayed." She stared at the woman in the mirror. The one who once swore no man would ever own her again. Who now stood in silk, in his world, still wrapped in the scent of him. He was already in the kitchen when she returned. Dressed in black again, always black. A button-down, sleeves rolled to the forearms. His hair was slightly tousled, like he'd just run a hand through it while making decisions worth millions. The windows flooded the room with sunlight and silence.
"I wasn't sure if you liked sweet or bitter,"
he said, offering her a cup.
"So I went with strong."
His voice was casual, smooth. Like he hadn't been caught owning a drawer full of her face, her posture, her breath on paper. Like he hadn't whispered possession between her shoulder blades the night before. She took the cup. Her hands didn't shake, but her pulse did. He made breakfast like a man who had always done it for one. He plated hers first, then his. No rush. No demand.
"You don't have to stay,"
he said, finally sitting across from her.
"But you'll want to."
She blinked.
"You don't ask. You predict."
He smiled, but it didn't quite reach his eyes.
"I study. I collect. And when the time comes, I claim."
The knife in her hand slowed as it sliced through avocado. Every word was a wire. She put the utensil down. "You don't even flinch at how insane that sounds."
"I flinch when I'm wrong,"
he said simply.
"And I haven't been."
Later, he invited her to a private gala. He called it the soft show at the Helios Spire. She knew the place, rumored to house the city's oldest money. Zandora's elite. And now, her. In the bedroom, her gown waited. Crimson silk, high slit, bareback. Her measurements were exact. "You had this made," she said, fingers brushing the fabric.
"Before we met. I had it made when I knew you'd say yes."
That night, Zandora glittered as if trying to match her. The gown clung to her like a whisper. Mikael's hand never left her lower back. They entered the spire and the world turned to stare. She heard it before she saw who said it. The street girl with the paint fingers. Mikael didn't look toward the voice. He just leaned closer.
"They'll learn,"
he murmured.
"Zandora belongs to the ones who dare to take."
She didn't breathe for a second. Because part of her agreed. Back in the penthouse, she moved through the silence differently. Not like a guest. Like a woman who had survived something invisible. He poured her wine. She declined. He didn't push. While he showered, she wandered. Past the studio corner. Past the antique shelf. Past the piano he never played. And there, behind the dresser drawer she hadn't checked before, another sketch. Older. Torn at the edges. smudged from touch. It was her again. Her body turned toward the window, her hand resting against the glass. But this time, the background wasn't neutral. It was this penthouse. The same walls. The same silver sheets. The same glass behind her silhouette. He hadn't just drawn her face. He had drawn her here. In this place. In his space. Before she ever stepped foot into it. She heard the door click behind her. Felt his presence like shadow.
You weren't supposed to see that.
He said, towel draped around his neck, shirt undone. But you left it. She said. Her voice didn't tremble. You always do. He didn't apologize. Didn't excuse.
I saw you before the city gave you to me. That sketch. It's not a fantasy. It's a promise fulfilled.
Her breath stuck in her throat. So what am I now? Yours. His gaze didn't soften.
You were mine the moment I saw you painting beside that train station, barefoot, furious, divine.
She looked down at the drawing again. She should have run then. But instead, she folded the paper gently and placed it back. That night, she lay beside him again. This time, she didn't touch him. Didn't face him. But she stayed. Zandora shimmered beyond the glass, too loud, too bright. She closed her eyes, knowing sleep wouldn't come. She didn't know what this was. Only that she would never be free from it again.